If you currently use Facebook ads to generate insurance leads, then today I'm going to show you how you can use your Facebook ad budget to get more pre-booked appointments on your calendar, aka people who automatically book on your schedule and all you have to do is show up and sell what you sell, whatever type of insurance policy that is, whether that's term, whole life, IUL, annuity, etc. So let's talk about that. My name is Don. I'm the founder here at Scale. We help insurance agents and agency owners scale their businesses and annualize premiums using paid marketing strategies like Facebook ads. Today we're going to talk about how to scale appointments using your Facebook ads budgets and making adjustments to that budget to get more appointments on calendar. Okay, so let me tell you a quick story. Had a client came on board with us. He's been working with us for a while. And he said, Don, look, man, I'm a lazy agent, right? You might be too. And what I mean by that is, he's like, Don, I want to be able to make more sales without having to put in like a ton of effort. Like I'm still going to work, but like, how can I get more appointments just on my calendar? Like I have the money necessary to spend and invest. I want more pre-booked appointments and I want to show up and be able to close. I said, cool. Well, let's just like go through an entire week of like running your ads. And then from there, let's see how we can optimize your budget for appointments. Great. So let's talk about the current ad spend right now. In his first 7 days, he spent $200 per day. When you multiply that by 7, that's $1,400 per week in his first 7 days. Okay. Now from there, basically, we started tracking how many appointments got booked, pre-booked on his calendar from that budget that was being spent of $200 per day, $1,400 per week. For those of you who are already clients of ours, essentially when you go inside of the CRM system, or if you're not a client, I'll give you the game here. You go into Go High Level, and you want to make sure that there's a tag that says appointment booked every time one gets pre-booked on your calendar. The system should automatically do it. When you go into your CRM system and you check the tag and you search for appointment booked, it's going to tell you how many appointments got booked in a desired period of time. We were looking at a 7-day window. So in this case, he spent $200 per day, $200 per day, $1,400 per week in his first 7 days. And we wanted to see how many appointments got booked in that 7 days. And there were 33 total appointments. So now all that we needed to do was the math. $1,400 in spend divided by the total amount of appointments booked in that period of time, which were 33 appointments. And we were able to find that currently he's paying $42 per pre-booked appointment. Now that we know that number, we can do the math on how he can make adjustments to his budget based off of the amount of appointments that he's looking to have on his calendar. So now we can work from back to front. The question now goes, how many appointments do you want? And then we can now adjust our budget based off of that since we know the average. So with that, here's how it will look. Currently, he's spending $200 per day, $1,400 per week. Here's what we know so far. He's averaging $17 per lead. That's being generated from the Facebook ad account. So of that $1,400 weekly budget at $17 per lead, he's getting roughly 82 leads per week. Now those 82 leads per week are basically just people submitted their information. But of those 82 leads per week, 33 of them pre-booked appointments, which is $42 per appointment based off of the math that we did earlier. Now, just so we can do a little bit of further math so you can better understand, if you want to see your conversion rate on how many actual leads turn into appointments, all that you would do is divide 33 appointments, the total amount of appointments that you got, divided by the total number of leads that you received, and that's 33 divided by 82. That means that out of 82 leads that he received, 40% of them are pre-booking appointments. So 40% of all of his leads are pre-booking appointments on calendar. Okay? So that's just important to know. So 40% are booking. That's a great number to know. Now, as we go down, He says, Don, I want 10 appointments per day. Well, now that we know that he wants 10 appointments per day, all we had to do was the math. Okay, we know that you're averaging thus far $42 per appointment, which means that if you want 10 appointments per day, we do $42 per appointment multiplied by 10, and that means that he needs to spend $420 per day on average to get 10 appointments per day. Now let's break down the math on how this would work in totality. If he's spending $420 per day, that means that his budget on Facebook is $2,940 per week. Now that would mean, remember, this is he's just solving for pre-booked appointments, but he's still generating all of these as leads, total leads. It's just a percentage of them are turning into appointments. So at $2,940 per week, assuming that the average lead cost remains $17 per lead, then we do $2,940 per week divided by 17 per lead, meaning that at that budget of $2,940, 173 leads are being generated per week going straight into his CRM system. So he'll have access to 173 leads per week, which is a lot, right? A ton. For $3,000. Now, I mean, before I go any further, I mean, put this into perspective. If one IUL deal is worth $3,000, he closes one IUL, he's made his $3,000 back on the ads while still having 172 leads left over. So that's where volume becomes huge, and that's the business that I've always been in, is volume. But not get off topic here. $2,940 per week. We divide that by $17 per lead. He has 173 leads per week dropping into a CRM system. Now, since we know that each appointment though is $42 and that 40% of all of his leads are turning into appointments, well, we do the same thing. $2,940 per week divided by $42 per appointment means that of the 173 leads that are being generated in his Facebook ad account, he's going to have 70 pre-booked appointments on his calendar every single week, which is excellent, right? And that's the goal that he was looking for. Now, where it gets pretty cool, and we're going to just do some quick numbers here, where it gets cool is that out of the 173 leads, 70 of them are pre-booked appointments. So if we just do 173 leads subtracted by 70 appointments, he's left with 103 leads that did not book appointments. 103 in a week, which means that, let's say out of the 70 appointments, a certain percentage don't show. Well, he still can fall back on a 103 leads that he can dial that didn't book appointments. Maybe they replied to a text message, or maybe they didn't respond at all. He puts them inside of an auto dialer and he starts dialing them and gets them on the phone. So either way, it's a win-win scenario. He has 10 appointments per day being booked on his calendar, which if a certain, let's say even out of 10 appointments per day, 30% show up, then that means 3 people show up per day. 30% show up, meaning that he just does 10, 10 divided by 3 divided by 10, 30% show up. If that's the case, if 3 show up a day, 7 days a week, he has 21 people that are showing up no matter what. Depending on his close rate, he's already earning his ROI on the entire budget for the week, like we talked about. And he still has 105 leads left that he can dial to squeeze out more profitability. Now, back to what I was saying earlier, in this particular scenario, is that this is how I've always run my agency, my life insurance agency. So I'm big on volume. I've always been a volume guy. I've always thought about using Facebook ads and optimizing the budget to be able to work in my favor. I believe that Facebook ads works better when you're spending a large budget, especially when you have more of a high ticket offer like an IUL and you have the right type of client on the line who can benefit from it, that like you're going to earn a ton of ROI as an agent and you're going to help a lot of people at the same time. But specifically, we're talking about business right now, which is why I'm attaching this to ROI for your service of helping a client set up IULs. Like with the volume, you're going to be able to earn more ROI. And this is just from my experience, from the volume itself. And this is how I've always run my agency. I spend a certain amount of money to get a certain amount of appointments booked. All the remainder of the leads, drop them inside of a auto dialer. I'll dial them through, or I'll even give some of them to a lot of my newer agents, and I give them to my newer agents, and from there, my newer agents dial through all the remainder of the leads that are not appointments. I get to let them get the reps. And then from there, they earn commission, and I'm able to earn overrides from it. So building a really solid, robust system for not just myself, where I'm constantly writing, but all my agents are writing too. And it's a win-win scenario. So that's how you utilize your Facebook ad budget to get more appointments, more sales, grow your agency, everything in between. And it's why Facebook ads always wins. All right. Pray this was valuable. Share this with an agent. Peace.